Hello friends, this is Devraj. Hope you all enjoyed watching the Jupiter Saturn coming together closer. Although they are far, they are seemingly to be on the straight line when viewed from Earth. So I myself was able to watch it with a telescope. Wait, binoculars. Sorry. I could not take a picture of it much clearly, so when I took a picture with my phone, it almost appeared both the dots to be on the same line. It's like a bigger dot followed by a little dot on the top. Anyways, that was really memorable for the last week of December, sorry, this year. Let's play this game. Alright. I would expect to play this one. This one right here and then this. Two moves, right? Check here with the support of rook, and then once he goes there, then go here, he'll be trapped because the queen is here, so we'll go here and here. That's check. That's check. Alright, thank you very much. So we're gonna stop there. This was rated 660. It's not too much there. Alright, so this event was also being was gone live on UNT. This is the one. So they have a Facebook page. They went live here. This was the live one. This was the live show. Like, not many people know that this is live show. So they look at this and they think nothing is happening. So all you have to do is to just... So this live event ended already, but then...
Atmosphere is so short-lived that it's really not something the Magi could have followed as a sign. Judea?
Southwest, and it's about, if you were outside and you're we're doing tonight is we are putting a...
So he was describing his telescope versus the olden day telescope to be so large. So here there is a multiple reflection internally to get the image. But then in the olden day telescope it was not the case, so it has to be so long. Okay, anyways. Long story short.
Camera to make it.
I'm hoping I can
so that's Jupiter and
just a second here and view it with my own two eyes as well.
Okay, so now we're going to take what I'd like to do then, so it doesn't confuse everybody.
So a lot of people were trying to watch, but then it won't last for so long. So right after the dawn, when the sun goes out, that's when you'll be able to see the planets, of course, right? And then it will not be there for so long. It will go down the horizon. So there will be a window of 1 hour to anywhere 1.5 hours. That's when you have to watch. Be ready for sunset and then watch it. Then it goes down. You cannot even see anymore. All right. However, even it's going to be there for 3 more days. That's what I hear from them. So although it will not be closer, it might be a little further. But all right.
Everybody, if you guys.
By the way, is that the orbital period? So for Earth, no. Orbital period is what is the orbital period? Is it around the sun is considered as orbital period or around itself? I think I am correct, but I'm not so sure. So the orbital period for Earth is 1 year around the sun, which is what is 1 year. And in terms of Earth's orbital period, the Saturn's orbital period around the sun is 30, sorry, 21 years maybe, I don't know, 30 years. So Jupiter is 12 years, I believe. Saturn is 21 years, I think. 29 years maybe, 29 years, I think, yeah. So 29, 12, and 1. Okay. I mean, I am not an expert there. I'm just seeing the facts which already these people.
Questions, and we'll do the questions while we're looking at the through the telescope. Okay, because it's easier for me to talk about these contents like this next step here.
Is it being played?
Now we're going back to some, everything was kind of, you look at very carefully on both of them, you can see, I want to, first of all, you look live that the atmosphere is causing the planets to kind of
oh my God, they are able to see the rings as well. This is Jupiter, that's Saturn.
Shimmer a little bit. You can see Jupiter's up at the top. And I mean Jupiter. I mean Saturn's up at the top and Jupiter's down at the bottom. You can see the little belts around Jupiter, little coloration, and of course you can definitely see the rings going around Saturn. And that is the closest these two planets have appeared in 800 years. And if you try to go outside and look at them now, you'll just see one bright star because we're magnified so much right now.
So for me, it looked like one bright star with naked eye, but then when I looked with the binocular, this looked like a dot and this appeared right here. Yeah, around like this, yeah. This appeared right here, that much closer, but he is a very good magnifying thing. So those looks like a sharp LED laser pointer kind of. Light, and then as if like you are seeing a portion of sunlight. So the sunlight is so bright you cannot even see, right? So if you hide all of the part of sunlight and view only the small dot in the dark, that's how it was. So it was too bright, but then it was so small. So essentially these planets reflect sunlight maybe because of the atmosphere around them, and that's what we see. Because these are not stars, these are planets. So they don't emit their own light. I mean, I don't have to explain this to you. All right.
And so we call them wandering stars, and they're wandering right next to one another right now.
Everybody knows that.
So does anybody have any questions about what we're seeing?
It's not
so
that I'm
remember
showing
that on Facebook there's about a 20 to 30 second lag. So I'm sure we'll be getting questions, even more questions here soon after we just asked them if they have any questions.
See, right?
Going to be able to see the Galilean moons.
Up an image. They just take an instant.
So I was thinking to go there and see in person, if not for COVID. So this place is right here, near the UNT, about 35 minutes from home, less than that. So it's, yeah, 24. It's less than 30 minutes actually, right? Yeah. So there is an entrance to, yeah, next to this airport. Yeah, this is the astronomy center, which we are seeing. Okay, they are here inside this. They have the rotating thing here and they have the telescope inside. This is a much smaller version than what I saw in Griffith Observatory. That was my first observatory, Griffith Observatory in Los Angeles. Griffith Observatory. It was on mountain top. This was Griffith on the mountain top. So the way you get into it is also, so you'll have to go on top of this mountain. So you cannot walk, it's very hard to find parking in the night. This is how it was. But it's worth going there. Alright.
Is in front of the planet, And this is another interesting story because Galileo, he was the first person to do science with a telescope. Now, and I want you to know that because everybody kind of thinks that Galileo was the first person to.
Who was the one who talked about gravity, vacuum, and all? Is it again Galileo? The pendulum experiment and all of that. Oh, I'm spelling it wrong. My God. Yeah, he was the one. He was the one. When was he born? He was born even before people discovered America. Discovered or yeah, discovered. (1492), and this guy was born in 1564. 1492 and 1564. So was he born? Where was he born? France. Alright, so also was he the one who, that was not Copernicus. What is his spelling? What did he figure it out? Sun is the center of the earth, is it? But Galileo was wrong in that, right? Galileo. Eventually, Galileo came to the same conclusion as Copernicus: the sun, not earth, was center of the universe. 1960 published in support of this heliocentric theory. Forget about earth is flat or round. They both believed in it is round, but then what is the center of the earth? Is it earth the center of earth, and then sun and other thing is moving? It is all relative, actually. Earth was moving around the sun. So, yeah. Was Galileo wrong? Heliocentric, and then oh, Galileo was prosecuted for his support of heliocentrism model in which Earth and planets revolve around the sun at the center. He was prosecuted. He was killed for this. Oh my God, this is so crazy. People are so crazy about that. Geocentrism. This is so crazy. He was killed for that. Was he killed or he died of heart failure? Anyway, he lived till 77 years old. Alright guys, thank you very much. I just wanted to show this to you.
Invent the telescope. He didn't invent the telescope. I mean, telescopes have been around for several hundred years, really. What Galileo did was he was the first one to get up and look at the sky and do science and draw the pictures of what he saw in the sky. Whereas they didn't do that. Most people just used the telescope to look.
Now, how do they know this is a planet, not stars? That's a good question. So, the stars are far and twinkle, the planets do not twinkle. Like the moon does not twinkle. It's all bright. So, the planet's also bright, it does not twinkle. But then how do they figure out that?
For pirates that were coming up in ships off the ocean and coming up into their lands there in England and in France and all. And they were just looking for pirates. So you always saw pirates with a little telescope. That's what they used them for. And Galileo was actually, that was his job, was to be looking for pirates coming into where he lived there in Italy. And he got bored. And the story is that he looked up and he said, wow, man, look at that moon. There's all kinds of things on it. Then when he looked at Jupiter again, he saw those moons and he says, wait a minute, we've only got one moon on the Earth, and on Jupiter, there's 4 moons. So Jupiter must be better than we are. Well, as it turns out in science, Jupiter is the biggest planet in the solar system, and it's actually got more than 4 moons, many more. Sarah, do you know how many moons it's got there, Galaxy Gal?
3 now.
Oh gosh, I know it and Saturn have been fighting for years upon years, and I believe it's over 80. Let me check that in current numbers.
Wow.
I know it's been changing.
There's actually over 80 of those moons.
Wait, how many moons? 80 or 8? $80 moons, man, 80. Oh my God. Oh my God. So 80 moons, these are only 3-4 moons visible. Number of known outer planet moons by planet by year. Okay, yeah. 1640, they thought Jupiter has that many moons. This is 10, this is 0, this is 5, 4 moons. So this was the belief until here, this point of time, which is almost the start of 19th century. No, yeah, whatever. Yeah. So from here on, they were discovering, and then 2010, they still thought it has only 60 moons, and now 2020, they figured out 70 and moons. Now they're talking about 80 moons. In last 10 years or 20 years, they discovered all the way from 20 to these many moons. That's crazy.
And so what happens is, if you have a little telescope and you want to do something really fun, you can always take those and take a little drawing through your telescope and make a drawing of where those moons are each night. And you'll see that those moons are in a different arrangement each night because they're going around Jupiter, just like our lunar moon goes around us. That was a great question, by the way. Thank you for asking that, because we almost forgot to show you the moons. But you can still see the rings around Saturn, and you can still see Jupiter, but they're kind of burned out. We had to do that to overexpose and bring more light into the telescope so you can see the faint moons. But that's what you definitely won't see that outside.
So yeah.
Jupiter has
For-
79 moons. Saturn has 82 moons. That's why it surpassed it. I knew it was around that number.
Oh, but because Saturn has all those little ice crystals going around.
I know it kind of beats the system there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It does. Well, that's pretty good. Well, have we got any more questions from the folks out there? That helps us get some ideas while we're looking at this, or I'll bring it down. And I kind of like the moons there, but you just don't see the planets real well, except that they
Saturn
don't.
has
You realize they're not
Jupiter
stars.
and these both are.
Now I'm looking
Where
outside.
is Earth? Earth
I
has
can see some
one.
stars now. I can see, but not very many because it's just twilight. It's still not even dark yet.
Yeah.
But at this point, if I stick my arm out, and if you're
So
on a phone or something and looking at this live stream,
dawn
you have
and dusk.
about 1.5
After dusk,
fists
it's twilight.
before your star disappears on the horizon. So it's getting very low.
All right, let me.
My mouse right here.
Twilight. It's still not even dark yet. Oh. So have you got your stellarium up there? Can we look at the stellarium drawing of what the
So
see
I'm
on
watching
moons? There's the line
chair
moons, and
all
if you
the
go to
time, and it
stellarium,
makes some funny
you can see 3 moons, and then one should be kind of in front of the planet.
Yes, I have my stellarium up, so I'm ready to screen share whenever.
Okay. So actually, can we screen share?
There we go.
There. Okay.
Yeah, so there's Ganymede. If you can see my mouse right here.
Yeah. Can you zoom out and let's look and see the other 3 planets out there at the side so everybody can see them.
Yeah.
There we go. One more.
Europa and
There they are.
Callisto.
There you go. Yeah. See,
Alright.
that's what we're seeing in the real sky. And then the little bitty moon is right in front of the planet, and it burned out because we had to overexpose it in order to get them. Well, that's pretty cool. Yeah, unfortunately, Saturn's moons are so faint we can't really see them very well. Okay, well, thank you, Ashley. So we'll go back to the live view since
Oh, this is big.
there it is.
Oh my
Wow, it
God.
is small, isn't
It's
it?
a Jupiter's moon.
Yeah, the only way you're going to see that is out in space.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Ashley. That will bring everybody back live again like we promised we would. Okay, so
you,
anybody
Brian?
want to,
Wait, I was about to talk.
its moons are so faint we can't really see them very well.
So I think I left him a voice message.
Okay, well, thank you, Ash.
His voice message greeting was like, if you don't describe you or leave a voice message, I will block you and I will something he said, and then I described myself, my name and number, because he must be getting so many calls from unknown numbers and he has no way to figure out a legitimate call from.
So we'll go back to the live view since we promised. Oh, there it is. Wow, it is small, isn't it? Yeah, the only way you're going to see that is out in space.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Ashley. That will bring everybody back live again like we
Right.
promised we would.
Yeah.
Okay, so anybody want to
No, he was not right.
see anything else? You know, if you guys get bored, I can always show you the moon. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We can see the moon any night, but we're not going to see a conjunction like this for the rest of our lives where we can look at them both at the same time in a telescope.
All right, Ron, we do have some more questions here if you want them.
Oh, that's awesome. Some more questions.
All right, so this one I'm going to read it to myself and then read it out loud.
Lifetime?
Is the brightness of the planets supposed to get brighter, or are they going to come together and become brighter? That's a question from Marcia.
Well, wait, what was the question?
We can see the moon any night, but we're not going to see a conjunction like this for the rest of our lives where we can look at them both at the same time in a telescope.
All right, Ron, we do have some more questions here if you want them.
Oh, that's awesome. Some more questions.
All right, so this one I'm going to read it to myself and then read it out loud. Is the brightness of the planets supposed to get brighter, or are they going to come together and become brighter? That's a question from Marcia.
Okay, so the 2 planets being together as close as they are, it will appear to be slightly brighter. I don't know that your eyes can distinguish the difference in brightness, but the two of them being so close, it will appear brighter to your naked eye out there when you're looking at the horizon. It will be a little brighter. And then as they move away tomorrow and the next night, then you'll see two objects. And so the two together is slightly brighter because they're not eclipsing each other. They're just right next to each other. I hope that's a good answer. What do you think there about their Galaxy Gal?
That is a very good answer. In fact, you answered another question from Anthony, who asked, will they actually eclipse? So you answered that by saying, no, they will not. This is meeting in the sky.
Yeah, well, those that don't know what we're talking about, the two planets will never actually, one will not actually get in front of the other like this little moon is getting in front of Jupiter. That's called an eclipse. That's when they get in between you and the target. Just like when the moon gets between us and the sun, we have an eclipse. And so when the Earth gets between the sun and the moon, we get a lunar eclipse, and the moon gets kind of reddish and from the atmosphere and the dirt in our atmosphere. In this particular case, they're not going to get that close. So they don't call it an eclipse, they call it a conjunction. So tonight we're seeing the Christmas star conjunction of 2020.
What is the difference between conjunction? So they won't get in front of other, but then they'll be too far. What is it's? I don't know. Okay.
Plus, we're seeing an eclipse of one of the Galilean moons, which is pretty cool.
So they're maintaining social distancing protocols, right, Ron?
Pardon me? Yes. I tell you one other thing for all of you guys watching this. I can't bring the telescope up enough to show you, but there's another planet in this picture. The planet Pluto.
Where?
And by golly, we're going to call it a planet. Is that okay, Galaxy Gal?
Oh, I do love the fact that it's a dwarf planet because it explains.
Wait, is there a mouse or a dog called Pluto? Pluto. Yeah. It's a dog, right? It's not a mouse, right? I knew this.
About science. Science loves to create new categories when more things for that category are discovered, and that's what they've done with Ron. I appreciate that category.
Yeah, okay, yeah, but you're still calling it a planet, but it's a dwarf planet.
Exactly. We're going to just, qualify it just a little bit by the addition of that terminology that defines the overall category, really.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
When you were mentioning eclipses, I can't help but mention a fun astronomy joke. Some of y'all might know it out there. It might be going around. But yeah, as Ron mentioned, when the moon's in our way, in front of us, in front of the sun, in our way, blocking it, that's a solar eclipse. When the sun is casting Earth's shadow on the moon, that's a lunar eclipse. And if the sun ever got between the Earth and the moon, that would be an apocalypse, but that will never happen.
Oh my goodness.
Focusing on words, eclipse, apocalypse.
Right. That's a good one.
Yeah, there's a wonderful question here. I love this question. How big is Jupiter? Jupiter itself is 43,441 miles across. Above is Saturn, below is Jupiter.
Look, since these planets are
they're going to keep talking about more facts.
But also the amount of air, but it's...
Man, that's a good question. That is a good question.
Within reason.
Okay.
To the, Fort Griffin State Historical Site, which is also wonderful. Great campgrounds, always clean restrooms. I've never seen them ever dirty. They take care of them meticulously. But an hour and a half north of where I live in Fort Worth.
What's the other question?
There's 4 are ranch and winery, and they have beautiful dark.
Less than one fist, which is really getting low. We're looking through a lot of atmosphere right now. And so this, do you have any questions there, Galaxy Gal, that have come in from anyone?
Yes, so there is one from Dale. He asks, how far apart are Jupiter and Saturn right now?
Oh man, that's a good question. That is a good question.
In
I don't
terms of
have the
light
answer.
years,
I'm going to dig one up.
maybe
Because
50
believe it
light
or
years?
not,
No.
say, Oliver, in your stellarium, do you remember what the distance between those really are? Because Saturn's quite a bit further away than
Maybe
it's way back
half light
past
years.
Jupiter.
I don't know how much is that. Not
from Saturn or from Earth?
No, maybe one.
Yeah, I'm going to say.
Distance between the
It's
two
not
of
too much
them, I
far.
believe it's 0.1 degrees in general, but
Yeah, in
Is there
general,
any
like so
sense?
as if we're looking at it in our sky,
No.
it's hard to tell the difference, right?
Yeah.
Like, they look like one big star. Unfortunately, I can't go outside and look at it right now, but it looks like one big star, right?
That's all it looks like, yeah. From where I am outside, it is one just big star. I'm wondering if he was talking about how far they are. Well, if he's talking about what we see, they are 1/10 of which is 5. You could take 5 of these patterns that we're looking at the telescope. We could put them side by side, 5 of them inside the moon's diameter. That's how much magnification we have going. You could take those 2 distance and put 5 of them in the diameter of the sun, of the moon.
now there's a gentleman here asking to see the moon on the way out of our program. It's Anthony.
Molly, we can do that. Can't we do that?
Yeah.
I'll do that. Okay. Do I?
Before they watch the moon, I want to know the distance. Is it kilometers, miles? 450 miles, but how much light year is that? It's 9 light year. Oh, 450 million. Shit. So 7.6 light year. So I said 10 or 1 light year. I could not figure out. So it is 7 light year. Okay. 7.5 light year. All right.
I have a chat vote from anyone. Go to the moon.
Those are like 7.5 light year, and they look so close. So the light that originated, okay, the sun, it is reflecting the sun. The light that you see is 7.5 years later than what it started 7.5 years ago, and then you're seeing now. Oh my God. And Jupiter is not so far. Jupiter itself is 551 million miles, and then Saturn is double the time. Okay, all right. So Jupiter, okay, so this is interesting. Okay, so this light, what we see now is ago, 7.5 years. This light, what we see now, has started 14.5 years ago. And the light we saw on the moon is not so far. How far is moon from Earth? This many miles in light years? Okay, so that's just like 1 mile. Oh, no. Sorry. It has to be the other way around. Oh, God. So that is 4 light year. No. This is 10 power minus 8. Okay. So I got confused. So let's get back to that 550. Oh, okay. So it's 10 power minus 8. So it's very, very fractionate. So which means, okay, so that's what I got confused. 1 billion miles. Okay, 550 million miles. Okay, so that is 550 million mile. Let's put it in miles. So it is still not even 1 light year. It is 10 power minus 5. Okay. So it's 10 power minus 5. So double the time. Okay. So that is wrong. What I said is totally wrong. God. Okay. So let me put here. Okay, this is not 1 light year. So this one, let's multiply by days. So so the light from the sun takes 6 minutes to reach the earth. So this is still part of the solar system within the same galaxy. So it cannot be many light years. The stars could be many light years away. Okay. So so stupid to say that. So it's not even 1 day. So let's see, 365 days into 24 hours. So it is just 1.4 hours. Okay, 1.5 hours. So which means 90 minutes, and that's like 45 minutes. So what we see here, I don't want to see. So this light, what we see is 45 minutes, and that light is 90 minutes. What we see from the sun to the earth is 8 minutes. So on the scale, okay, anyway, I don't have to see. Okay, so if we put that on the scale, and then mark this is sun, as is earth, this is Jupiter, and this is Saturn. Okay, Saturn is small. Okay, Saturn is small. Okay. Alright, so actually I have to move this. Okay, anyway. Alright, so this won't be here. So this is equal distance, so the earth will be here. And it is not drawn to scale, but then this is 6 minutes, this is 45 minutes, this is another 45 minutes, so 90 minutes. Okay, anyway. Alright, get back to this.
Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Let's see if it comes in here. Once again, we're 30 seconds delayed, so we'll see what the votes come in.
Okay, we'll go for that.
There's two requests for it at the moment. One from Anthony Diulio.
They're going to watch the moon.
Okay, we'll go to the moon.
Oh, all the lights are coming up.
Our
So
moon,
many
Jupiter.
lights, so many thumbs up. So I think.
Hey,
and
is it
hearts.
I know
We're
it's not
seeing them
live.
all around. I think everyone's saying
Hey,
yes.
is it our moon or Jupiter's moon?
Right now, the other interesting thing about it is that the moon
And they say our moon, the moon that is closest to our earth. So we are owning that.
is half lit by the sun right now. And so that alignment is just perfect. Another alignment for the Christmas star, which I think is pretty cool. All right, well, here I go, boys and girls. You're going to be flying through the sky here for a second.
Zoom out.
We're doing a little flying now. Of course, you guys picked something where the telescope is going to be crushing me because it's looking straight up. And so, you know, all this noise of me trying to become very small. Starman is getting smaller. Okay, but it will be worth it. Christopher, on the controls of the telescope, you're probably going
So
to
I have
have to
my
bring the exposure
classmate.
down so
He said he
everybody's
could not focus
monitors
it.
don't burn up.
His
You
name
just go
is.
past it.
Oh God.
Let's
okay.
see. Here we go. I'm almost there. We've got the computer
Strategic
moving it
management.
right into the center now. And
Yeah.
here
So
we
that's
go.
the guy.
Coming in slowly,
So he said,
slowly.
too cloudy here. If we can.
There it is.
It says too cloudy here.
That's the moon live tonight, too, as a matter of fact. That's just the upper corner of the moon. There we go.
So, folks, we've just switched over from the view of the conjunction.
So how far is the moon and how much time it takes for moon to reach us is what I'm gonna calculate. How much time? It's gonna be a minute or so. Oh, 1 second. It's just 1 second. I thought it's minutes. Wow. So it takes 6 minutes from the sun, but then it's only 1 second, 1.2 seconds from the moon. So it's almost instantaneous.
As the pens are getting just a little too low to see from the telescope anymore. We had a lot of votes to see the moon as our program headed towards its conclusion here. So we're getting a nice close-up of the moon through the telescope. And as Ron just explained, he's having to point the telescope straight up to see it. So hopefully you didn't get crushed in the process.
It's beautiful looking at those, this, what we call the first quarter, where we're actually looking at half of the moon, and the light is coming from the right. They cause the lava from inside of the moon to break through the surface and create those dark patches that Galileo and earliest that was huge, looking at half of the moon, and the light is coming from the right, you know, where the sun just set. And so that's what the moon is looking at. And so you can see that the moon, because it has no atmosphere, these craters from the meteorites hitting those, meteors hitting that, the very fresh ones are beautiful circles. And then from a long time ago, many millions of years ago, there was one right there that was so large, it created a what they used to call mare, or oceans, and it just made a crater that was huge, and it's the lava from inside the moon actually flowed out onto the surface and covered up all of the craters that were underneath.
Wow.
So you can see that there. There's another large crater. All those large craters took place millions of years ago, almost during the formation of the moon. There's another one right there. And they were so large, they caused the lava.
By the way, I've seen moon in the observatory and the telescope and everywhere, but not so much closer again. This is actually more detailed. I've seen this closer again, but the way he is describing is worth watching it. We have 125. We have 10 more minutes.
From inside of the moon to break through the surface and create those dark patches that.
Honestly, before watching all of this, I didn't know a complete explanation of what we have. And I also had a misunderstanding of how far in terms of light years and all of that. Although we know the speed of light is 3 into 10 power 6 meters per second. Whatever, is that correct? Okay, whatever. But then million miles, this in getting into perspective, I have no idea.
Galileo and early astronomers thought was Maria, which was Latin for oceans or seas. They thought they were actually oceans that they were looking at.
And Ron, this is one of my favorite times to look at the moon, really, because that terminator line, the line between the light and the dark, really emphasizes the depth of those craters.
It not only does it emphasize the depth of the craters, but interestingly enough, it's a proof that there's no atmosphere on the moon, because if there was an atmosphere on the moon, you wouldn't have that hard edge around the outside circle. There would actually be, it would be like our sunset, where we'd see it getting darker and darker to black. But that's what the Apollo astronauts saw when they stood on the moon. It was just like looking into space. There was no horizon, there was no air. And so that's what they saw. And one interesting thing about that terminator line that's there on the left, where it gets dark, if you were large enough to stand on one side where it's lit, it would be relatively warm, but on the other side, and put your foot on this other side of the terminal, it's intensely cold because there's no air. Just that little distance would be enough to do it. And so that's what we're seeing. Now, I'm going to show you a little something that happened recently in geologic terms. None of us were around when it happened, but you see down here looks like a bright starfish.
Where? Here?
That bright object right there is the center of a crater that hit not that long ago, probably maybe 20 or 30 million years ago, and it spread light-colored dust out in a circle all the way out, like a starburst. I think there's some more of that we can look at.
Which one? They didn't point.
As we travel
Okay.
on the moon like this and search through it.
Oh, by the way, it was so nice. Somebody captured all the data from NASA and able to capture our India's rover, Chandrayaan. Is that 2? Whatever. So he found out where it fell down. Just by visual inspection.
Here is, nice, look at that nice little white crater. I'm going to put it right in the middle of the screen. Little bitty white crater between those two.
1 second, guys, sorry. Chandrayaan 2 crashed. Is that 2, right? Okay, well, fine. So that's the crash site somebody discovered. Anyway.
Large ones.
Hey, so we just got a comment from CBS DFW. Want to take a gander over there. Looking at the comment, they would like to see the conjunction one more time.
Okay, well, we'll try to see if we can get that in there because it's getting late, but we'll do it. What time is it now? 6:55? All right, let's go to it. We'll go back to the conjunction for one parting moment. Okay, boys, here we go, boys and girls. We are flying.
By the way, if you are wondering what I'm drinking, it's raw kombucha. It's a fermented tea. It's non-alcoholic, but then there might be very, very trace amount of alcohol because of fermentation, but it's very negligible. Nobody gets drunk. You don't need to have ID because it's all permitted for anybody. And I can, this is Trilogy. Can just,
We'll be right back.
That's how it
We
looks.
didn't have to adjust the,
That
any of the,
It's not carbonated. That's just fermented.
we're moving the scope.
It's kind of ginger flavor, some acidic flavor. It's not alcohol, it has acid in it.
Be there in about 5
So,
seconds.
like citrus, you have
So someone asked, why are we looking at the moon? We were looking at the conjunction a little earlier, but the
Wow.
Saturn and Jupiter is really low.
Has black tea,
It's
green
like
tea,
a
kiwi
acid
juice,
soup
kombucha
going on.
culture,
So
raspberry
we asked
juice,
we asked the
lemon
audience
juice,
to take a
freshly
vote on what
pressed
they wanted to
ginger
see, and they said
juice.
the moon. So that's why we
And
switched it over to the
then,
moon. But right now we're switching it back to the conjunction for you guys.
so yeah,
hopefully we can-
because of
Okay,
all of
so,
the juice, it has
Christopher,
lactic
on the
acid,
control room, can you
acetic
bring up the
acid,
exposure times?
good.
Because we're back off the moon and back on the
Acid.
conjunction again.
Then,
And what we're seeing in the bottom of the image right now is Jupiter almost on the horizon. And if you can bring it up as much as you can.
This right now.
Ron, why don't we go ahead and hit the intervalometer?
All right, we'll go ahead and do it. All right, yeah, we'll hit that.
What is this? Is it
Okay,
a Jupiter
here
or
we
Saturn?
go.
By the way, folks, what you're seeing
I want to
above
see
is
another
Saturn,
screen of
below
how
is
they're doing the
Jupiter.
telescope thing.
And you can actually see that oblong point Saturn is, that oblong nature to it. Those are the rings around Saturn.
Okay, so so Chris, on your end, are you now getting the intervalometer shots?
They should start coming through any second now.
Okay.
This last one we're seeing now is the last shot we took before going to the moon.
Okay.
Okay, they're not seeing the new ones.
Okay, you got 2 seconds. Here it comes again. Okay, so we're still a little overexposed then, right? You want to bring it down a bit?
You're going to have to bring it down, Ron.
Got it? We'll do it over on our machine. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be really scintillated or blurry because of the sky. There we go. We're getting there. Because it's almost on the horizon now. Here we go.
Yeah, it's going to
This one
touch
should do it.
closer to the Earth, the horizon, whatever
Okay.
he's saying.
Yeah, that's about as clear as we can get it because we are now on the horizon and they're just above
So
the
when it is
horizon.
above the Earth horizon,
But that's that is the conjunction, as we say. They're very. You could take that, and if you took 5 of those pictures right there and put them side by side, you'd have a full moon behind it. That's how we're magnified like 2,000 degrees, 2,000 times.
Oh my God.
But because we are looking through this ocean of atmosphere, we're not going to get a clear picture like everybody did about an hour ago when we were looking at it.
Yeah.
It was beautiful,
Yeah,
man, wasn't it, boys and girls? It was
Yes.
wonderful.
Yes.
For sure.
So we
We're
already
still
saw.
looking pretty good. It's a once in a lifetime event.
The big star
So we
looking
already saw
It
it
would
here.
be like
Like,
take
might
1. That's what we're going to do. Is if
we,
so,
Be getting questions,
Yeah.
even
So-
more questions
here.
here soon after.
So this is what we
just asked
saw.
him if they have- Be getting questions.
So here
We can
it is.
give it a shot if you want.
thermometer is not
For some reason, I'm unable.
try that. Thinking we're if you do sound, it's just at the tell he got
Brady
can see that junction like it was moon.
in protocol.
That's pretty.
Moons.
Enter.
Mentions of
Okay, so
Dobsonian.
that's pretty
Do you
close.
have any
Yeah.
questions there, Galaxy Gal? That have
Yeah,
All right. Thank you very much, guys. I'll stop here. See you later. Happy holidays.
so right now.